Hey, I'm the industry.
Hey yo, I'm the academia.
I'm all those businesses that depend on technology.
Whatever. And I'm all those universities, colleges, and vocational training.
I represent the small, medium, and large enterprises that either develop, deploy, or use IT solutions to drive Pakistan's entire economy.
I represent the 90 million youth who are in the education system and all those who you aren't capitalizing on.
Did you say 90 million?
We've got power in numbers and you don't know what to do with us.
We're always looking for fresh grads. How come we can't even find one?
Even if you're looking hard enough, you're not looking long enough or in the right places. You lose interest in even investing in us.
But we don't know who you are. Eh?
Huh?
Wait a second, are we?
Saying the same thing? Yes, yes.
Campus Conversations. Bridging the gap. Log on to www.ciopakistan.com for more details.
You were part of Campus Conversations at NED. How was the experience like?
It was good. It was eye-opening. It was, just some of the perspective that students have. It's very genuine. When you sort of tend to forget when you go on to the professional life, you sort of tend to forget how did you think when you were a student. Without sort of generalizing it, the vision is a bit myopic as well. They're not thinking too far ahead. They're thinking of securing a job. They want a decent job. They want a good job. At the same time, they don't realize the modalities of what exactly people are looking for in the market. Some do, so I'm not generalizing it. We saw some great talent there. There was no question or no doubt about that. We had, I think we had a good discussion. I think they were very open, which I really liked. I don't think they were hesitating in asking or openly asking questions that circles in their head.
Right. So do you think they were smart kids with some really valid questions and some really valid opinions about what industry is looking for and what they want for their future?
I think they were smart kids, yes. I think they had valid questions. Yeah, all questions are valid in my opinion at their stage. Did they have a very valid perspective? Probably not. I don't blame them for it, but I think what they were under the impression was that this is what my university is. This is the market rate that I should be getting because my instructors and my colleagues have or my alumni have told me so, and this is what I'm going to do. And I will have a very broader perspective from the first day. I think businesses today in this competitive environment look for that and beyond. Your skills plus your capability as a teamwork. I think I said it at that time as well. How do you gel well with the team? That's important. How do you your capability and ability to work together? Your hard work, but is it synchronized hard work? Can you juggle multiple balls at the same time, even if you're a new hire or a new grad? So the last point is something that they had to come closer to reality, but then that was the whole point of Campus Conversations.
Right. So when students, when they graduate, the industry basically complains that these kids, they don't have much experience. The students say that when they were studying, they did not get an opportunity to work at certain organizations or they didn't get a chance to intern. What do you think, where will the solution come from? How will the students work when they graduate then?
It's a century-old question. I asked the same question when I was graduating back in the mid-90s from in US. Very similar question. But you know what? You have to plan ahead as a student. That's important. I think students here sort of realize, I'm sure they really try hard to get into an internship program and whatnot, but then you can actually start to do things on your own. You have projects that you're doing, senior projects that you're doing, you can add on more stuff to it and create a portfolio, and then it's always a competitive advantage when you go on to a prospect or a possible employee and say, look, I've already done this. What about, how do you want to, can I tell you more about it? Can I use this to do something at your workplace? Typically, at least from my personal opinion, 80% of the resumes that I get, if it's the same class that they graduate, the class of XYZ year that they're graduating, they have the same projects listed down. The format of the resume is exactly the same. There is nothing that distinctifies them. Some people were able to get internships, so they write internship, but they write very little about their internship. They write more about the classes that they've taken. It should be the other way around. Everyone knows exactly what classes they've taken. They could just mention the names of the classes, but elaborate as to what did they do for those 6 weeks, 2 months. It's important for me because that distinguishes that person. And if you're not getting an internship, because I realize that, I'm not going to talk about, every company should open ideas for internship. We had committed at that time, we had opened as well. We had gotten about 10 interns since then, from multiple universities, not from just one. I am in the process of creating a co-op program with our function as well, because that works out well for us, because it's not temporary, it's consistent for a small number of hours across the year. However, having said that, from a student perspective, if I'm trying really hard and I'm not able to get an internship, what am I doing to actually expand my canvas on my own?
Right.
How am I keeping myself busy during that time? If I am a computer science student, did I start a portal? Did I start an application on my own and actually, started to create a proof of concept? And that concept is something then I can actually talk about with somebody else. I think that is important. I think the initiative of कि जी कोई दे नहीं रहा internship तो हमें मिल नहीं रही तो हम कुछ कर नहीं रहे तो जॉब नहीं मिल रही. आपने खुद अपने पेरिफेरलिया में क्या किया? आपके पास कैंपस की मशीनरी अवेलेबल थी. आपके पास अप टू अ सर्टेन एक्सटेंट बुक्स एंड टीचर्स भी अवेलेबल थे, और आपके पास जो अपना इनिशिएटिव अवेलेबल होना चाहिए खुद, जो आप खुद क्रिएट करेंगे. सेल्फ क्रिएटिंग कमोडिटी है ना, कि मैं इस कॉन्सेप्ट को लेके चलूंगा. अगर इंटर्नशिप नहीं भी मिली तो मैं इस कॉन्सेप्ट को बनाता रहूंगा. मैंने 8 हफ्ते इस चीज़ पे लगाने. I don't really see that happening, and I'm not saying that. Once again, there are some students who are actually doing that, and if people who would do that, I guarantee you that would be a distinctifying factor when somebody is coming in and talking to me.
So what you mean to say is that once when you're studying, I mean everyone studies the same course, but what can actually distinguish you from others would be the experience that you have and the projects that you've taken and the way you've tried to achieve those projects and your goals.
Right, and the personal initiative that you've taken as part of your own interest of learning something and creating a prototype of something.
Right.
If you're a mechanical engineer, create a prototype of something that you could show to others, look, I've done this on my own.
And would the companies be willing to deploy that in their organizations, knowing that the kid is just an undergrad?
I'll tell you, if it solves a real life problem, the companies would be willing to cater to listening to a student and say, okay, fine, why don't you come down and help us out in whatever fashion. I'm not saying that prototype would be ready for production use, but even the students know that, and they shouldn't be disheartened about it. But if the concept is good enough, and it could be a software concept, it could be a mechanical concept, it could be a hardware concept, if the concept is good enough and the student has the right drive in them, yeah, why not? Companies are always looking for innovation, especially if it enables them to save cost or increase efficiency. These are the two things. Right?
You mentioned co-ops right now, and this is one thing that you had also promised when you were there at NED for Campus Conversations, that you would try to work on it and try to involve students from universities to come and work while they're studying.
Yes.
So what exactly is a co-op? What is it all about? The features, the duration that the students will have to put in for
Sure.
work and all, if you could share that.
The first time I heard about the co-op program when I became a co-op at Unisys back in the mid-90s in US. Effectively or essentially, the co-op program allows you to work beyond the summer vacations and actually work as a on a part-time basis every week on a certain project that is allocated to you. The companies then provide you that project and then start to invigilate you. In that case, the earned benefit for the company is that you're not really there for 2 months. If you're there for 2 months, the chances are the companies would not give you something concrete or something that they're really serious about. If you're there for the entire year, even though you're not putting in your entire 100% on it because you have school obligations to fulfill, yet still, as long as they know that you're giving a certain amount of time period every single week throughout the entire year, they'd be far more interested, and they are far more interested to then invest in you and actually give you a project that you can work independently or perhaps with other teammates and start to work. The first time I tried this program was in Pakistan 4 years ago or 3 years ago, where I started to sort of effectively hire interns to do quality assurance for the projects that we were doing for commercial customers and graphic designing work.
All right.
I thought that was something that was, quite frankly, as a company, it was lower risk for me to outsource this to an intern, and at the same time get the intern to get an idea and a feel of how a commercial software is created, and what are the aesthetics and the design approaches that are involved. And that worked out really well. I had 2 interns. I never used to see them at daytime. They always used to come in around 5 o'clock. They used to leave around 11 o'clock. I used to see their time sheet. They were very, proper about filling in those time sheets and doing the work, and it worked out really well.
So you have any future plans of co-ops? I mean, with these students of NED maybe, or maybe some other students who could get in touch with you to be a part of such a co-op program again?
Yes, something that I committed and something that I'm still working on is something that we have to, since it has not been introduced in our company at CDC IT Minds as yet, but it's something that we are certainly considering, and we are actually looking at how we can best engage with the student. The reason why we want to make sure that we want to do this the right way is because we do not want to just get 2 or 3 co-ops, and I doubt that we'll have more than that, but 2 or 3 co-ops, and then not really give them something that we really want to get done. We want to sort of carve out the area of a proper give and take. Something, it has to be an equal relationship. We have to get something out of them as well, and they have to get something out of us.
Right. But what exactly would be the gain that a company would get with the co-op program? I mean, the students get the benefit that they get to learn something while they're studying.
Sure.
What is the benefit to the company? They're just getting a bunch of interns who are working maybe late night on a project.
Yeah, the best part is that first of all, I would never really assign a very serious project for about 8 to 9 weeks to somebody, because I know that either the project is in flight and I would spend about a week and a half to get that person acclimated with the project.
Right.
And then by the time the person is ready to perform or he's performing, he would leave, and then I will have to get a full-time employee to transition.
Right.
The best part about this as a company, what I gain is the person is there throughout the year. All I have to do is carve out chunks and pieces of digestible pieces that person can do on their own, and have other team members integrate to whatever they're doing. So I have a benefit, right? I do not have to worry about transition in and transition out. I have that person for a long period of time. I can give something that is production sensitive, at least on a development environment, to that person and gain that benefit.
Right. So that student would obviously have a benefit of being hired in that organization once when he or she graduates.
If the performance is up to parity, it is my natural selection, because my full-time team members would vouch for the fact that this guy has worked with us for about a year. Now he can contribute to us for full time. I think it's so it has higher opportunity, higher weightage as opposed to a 2-month internship or a 9-week internship.
So do you think that now other organizations should also start thinking about introducing co-ops programs rather than just a internship program for like 6 weeks or something?
Quite frankly, if I were you, I would actually get rid of the internship program altogether. I cannot see, I've been in this industry for a decent period of time. I cannot see somebody doing something very creative, very cohesive for a period of 9 weeks. I mean, unless that there are reports that have to be compiled, you can't really give something very productive to an organization for 9 weeks, especially in an organization where people are already saddled to do their work. So if the time contribution decreases, but a person is there for a portion of time where the person is sort of coming in the last 2 working hours and spending another 2 hours for about 4 hours per day and whatnot, or maybe 3 hours per day, I feel that the person, if the right time is spent from the company, which at least as a company I would be willing to invest, I can actually get some decent work done out of these students.
So any idea how soon you would maybe try to launch this program, so the students could at least have one person to look up to for a co-op program and be a part of such an organization and learn from it?
I would not say in the matter of months, but weeks. It'll take that much of a time. I think the fiscal year is there. The most important factor is that we're at the juncture of closing this financial year. That is important, and then the other things can start to subsequently fall out. I also want to do that at the right time in terms of the academic purposes, where the students are actually either they have combining it right when they begin the semester, so that it's a cyclical thing for them. So effectively, these are the things that I have to action. And the last, certainly not the least, is we have to figure out as to what exactly would be the areas will we give to them, so that they can I don't want to set these students out for failure. They have to feel successful in what they have to accomplish while working. So I think the criteria would be very, very important to be very stiff on the criteria, because we don't really want to inherit somebody or get somebody in who's not really interested in pursuing the kind of work that we're giving them. So it'll be a very open thing as to what they can do and what exactly do we want to get done out of them, and that'll be a good start.
So any final message to the students to tell them that that now is the time that they should actually get serious about their career and think of just not studying but also work at the same time and try to basically chalk down their career map?
Yeah, don't give up. Don't solely focus on, and first of all, don't really just think if I don't have contacts, an internship will not come to me. That might very well be true in certain cases, but in many other cases, the other equation is actually their own initiative. If your initiative is there, if your drive is there, you'll actually ask a friend of a friend, a friend of your parent, or a friend of a friend of a friend to help them out towards an automating their business, or helping them out in whatever that you feel that you could deliver based on whatever you've learned from school. So take that drive and actually start to offer your services. It doesn't really matter what money you make. Money is not really important at that time. And I was really glad when we were talking to students in NAD. I don't think they were really concerned about money when it comes to internship. They just wanted to learn. Well, then you can't really sit idle and say, well, I've applied at 16 places and no internship is coming. Approach a friend of a friend and say, how about if I help you in this? I'll do this, I'll spend my time on it and see if it starts to deliver good results. For that, they have to keep abreast of whatever that is happening in the real world. They don't really have to subscribe to expensive magazines. They have to keep at it with all the right level of information that is thrown to us every single day on the internet.
Internet is like one of the best options.
There's
so many newsletters you can subscribe to, and you keep getting them in your
it's not the same. It's not the same where people like us. Back when I went to college, I had to go to the library to read those magazines and realize exactly what's happening in my field of study. It's far different now. You have a lot of information, and I think that is precisely the problem. A lot of information is flowing, and I think students probably get into the hype of, well, if there is so much information that is coming on towards them, and I'm sure there is a lot of pressure towards internships and education and whatnot, they sort of give up very easily in terms of saying, well, I applied at 16 places, I didn't get in, and now summer is almost over. I'm sure there is, in all our circle of influence, there is one small business owner who might even be running a laundry service, who's probably writing manual receipts. If they can approach that person and have that person accommodate a single PC for them and write a simple piece of software that can help them towards, generating, or maybe making a website for them, or whatever it is, that's the personal initiative that I'm talking about. If you do this, you're guaranteed to learn. So you've got nothing to lose, because at the end of the day, if you don't get an internship, you do something for X, Y, and Z, you can claim it in your resume, you've learned something, and that carries forward and makes you a little bit more distinctive as opposed to somebody who didn't try at all.
So I think gone are the days when the kids used to die to get into big organizations for just a 4-week internship. Now we can actually start things on our own and put that as an experience.
Absolutely. Look, when a business is interviewing you, and I said it again, I said it at NED as well. When a business is interviewing you and I am a business manager, what I am seeing is how much value can I get out of you? How much money can I make off of you? So it all comes down to that. And if you can successfully show the drive that you have been able to effectively use your time wisely, to me, I feel that I can then effectively make money off of you. It's as simple as that.
Thank you so much for coming today, sir. It was a pleasure to have you over.